Legendary Pokemon are some of the most notable Pokemon in the entire franchise. Heck, most, if not all Pokemon movies revolve around them. So in this video, I'll be ranking every legendary Pokemon to determine which one is the best. Not competitively though. Who do you think I am, Wolfie? I'm a filthy casual, so I'll be judging them based on my own experiences and tastes. This list will be strictly focusing on your standard legendary Pokemon, so no sub-legendaries like the Ultra Beast, and no mythicals either, as eventually they'll be getting their own tier list. Be sure to subscribe to not miss out on that. Going in Pokedex order, first up is Articuno. It has a classic and majestic look, I love its role in the early Adventures manga, and who can forget Nolan's Articuno from the anime? Because of that, Articuno comfortably lands itself in the B tier. Next up is Zapdos. While it's cool, I find it a bit too spiky for my taste, and its stiff wings doesn't really make it look like it's capable of flight. However, it does have a pretty raw cutscene in Mystery Dungeon. That being said though, it's a C for me. Then we have Moltres. Let's not waste any time here, it's going straight to D tier. It looks like a rubber chicken on fire, not very legendary at all. The only time it seemed cool was in the XY anime, mostly because of Ash's Talonflame. Now since we've covered the legendary birds, it's only fitting that we take a look at their Galarian variants. Despite the unclear origins, I will give them credit for being upgrades to their Cantonian versions. Galarian Articuno goes in B tier, slightly edging out the original. Its design is fantastic, but what holds it back from going in the A tier is that I wish it was an Ice and Psychic type instead. Next is Galarian Zapdos, who I guess realized couldn't fly with those spiky wings and became a Roadrunner instead. This design just works so well, and is the only roaming legendary I actually had fun pursuing, so it goes in B tier. Galarian Moltres, however, has the biggest upgrade. It looks menacing and fascinating, giving even Yveltal a good run for its money. It is leaps and bounds better than the original old flaming chicken over here, so cause of that, it too jumps to the B tier. And then we have Mewtwo. We all know how awesome Mewtwo is. From its key role in the first movie, to its ties with Team Rocket, and its 2 Mega Evolutions, Mewtwo perfectly encapsulates the themes of Generation 1, and is well characterized in the anime and movies. It is an easy S tier. But do I think it's the best? Let's continue to find out. Starting with Gen 2, we have Raikou of the Legendary Beasts. I feel a bit sorry for Raikou because, unlike the other two, it didn't get its own movie. Instead, got the Legend of Thunder special. I think Raikou is cool, but I just don't have a strong attachment to it, similar to how I feel about Zapdos. Plus, Raikou is often a roaming legendary, which I hate. For these reasons, Raikou goes in the D tier. Entei, on the other hand, gets much better representation, especially in the third movie. Although the Entei in that movie wasn't real, it still left a strong impression. I have a lot of respect for this Pokemon because of that movie, so he's going in the B tier. Then there's Suicune, clearly the fan favorite of the trio. Suicune got its own game, played a major role in the 4th movie, and made frequent appearances in the anime. Just ignore Ghost Suicune. This majestic legendary outshines the other two, earning its spot in the A tier. Now let's talk about the first set of boxed legendaries, Lugia and Ho-Oh. Lugia made a huge impact on me because of the second movie. Despite Ho-Oh appearing first, Lugia had more screen time in the original series. Lugia is also the star of Pokemon XD, with an epic exclusive Shadow form. On top of that, Silver was my first Pokemon game, adding more sentimental value to Lugia. This makes it an A tier legendary. As for Ho-Oh, I like it too. It was exciting to see Ho-Oh tease in the very first episode, and I love its symbolic importance to Ash's journey. Ho-Oh also has great lore involving the legendary beast, which is why it belongs in B tier. Now before we continue, this video is sponsored by Talkie AI, the innovative AI platform that brings your favorite characters to life. Ever wanted to chat with heroes from My Hero Academia, pirates from One Piece, Saiyans from Dragon Ball, or even Pokemon characters? With Talkie, this isn't just possible, it's a vivid reality. For instance, you can chat with Ash Ketchum and get responses he'd actually make. I recommend asking him what it really means to be a Pokemon master. The answer just might shock you, and you can find out by using the link in my description to download Talkie AI. But why stop there? You can also have a chat with Misty, Togepi, or Gyarados. Yikes. Rest in peace Togetic, I guess. And you can even chat with Pikachu.
Hi, I'm Pikachu. Are you a human or Pokemon?
Wait, how are you talking? With Talkie, you can also create your own virtual characters, write stories, assign traits, and watch your creations take shape in front of your eyes. Download Talkie today and start your journey into a world where your favorite characters speak right back to you. We now move on to Gen 3, with the first being the original Reggie trio. And all 3 of these dudes go right in the C tier. They're okay, and Brandon definitely helps elevate these guys, but aside from their memorable anime cries, I don't find them particularly special. They mainly exist to complement Regigigas. However, the way you do discover these legendaries is fantastic. Modern Pokemon games need more puzzles like these. We then have Latios and Latias. Their introduction in the 5th movie was great, especially Latias, who had a lot of screen time with Ash and was really cute. No, not that way. They have sleek, appealing designs, and while their Mega Evolutions are complete duds, soaring with them in Oras is a lot of fun. They're going in A tier. Next are Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza. Starting with Groudon, I've always been a fan of his design, but its primal form really takes it up a notch. Primal Groudon looks amazing and has a fantastic ability. I also appreciate that it gains the fire typing, which I felt like it always deserved, so it's going in the B tier. Kyogre also goes in B tier, though it is my least favorite of the trio. However, its primal form is such an improvement that it feels on par with Groudon for me. And then there's Rayquaza. It's the perfect example of what a Dragon Legendary should look like. It has one of the best designs in all of Pokemon, an incredible Mega Evolution that's extremely broken and fun to use, and has standout appearances in the anime, especially as the Black Rayquaza in Pokemon Horizons. Speaking of which, this Pokemon has one of the best shinies ever. Despite Gen 3 being so long ago now, Rayquaza still remains relevant, proving how awesome it is. This one goes in S tier. Now it's time for Gen 4, where the number of legendaries start to grow. But does that mean better? Let's find out, starting with the Lake Trio, who all just drop in C tier. Now sure, they were awesome in the Team Galactic arc in the anime and play a role in Platinum's Distortion world, but they're mostly just plot devices for the Red Chain. Azelf is my favorite because of Ash, while Mesprit is my least favorite because it's another roaming Pokemon. Then we have big boys Dialga and Palkia, and let me save y'all the trouble and put Palkia in C tier. I'm so indifferent to this Pokemon, and his ugly origin form does not help. Dialga, however, now that's a cool dude. I am Team Diamond all the way, unless Platinum is involved, and Primal Dialga from Mystery Dungeon only elevates this legendary to even greater heights. It's honestly unfair to Palkia cause this dude is kind of an afterthought in the post-game. Meanwhile, Dialga is the main course of that game, accompanied by a banger final boss theme. Throw this man in A tier. Now Heatran exists. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have much to say about this one other than the fact that some random dude pulled up with one during the Sinnoh League. C tier. Regigigas. He has a terrible ability that makes him unusable without a Galarian Weezing. However, I really dig this Pokemon lore-wise. Having him be the creator of the Regis easily makes him more interesting than the original trio. B tier. I've got 2 words for Giratina. Pokemon Platinum. This guy got so much love in that game. To a brand new form, the fascinating Distortion world, and even its own insane battle theme, this game made me prefer it over Dialga and Palkia. Then, Legends Arceus gave it another epic moment in the battle against Volo, so it definitely belongs in A tier. Cresselia. Great design, cool connection with Darkrai, but it's a roaming legendary. C tier. And now it's time for Gen 5, starting with the Swords of Justice. I really dig their role of being protectors of wild Pokemon, and they even appear randomly in Black 2 and White 2 due to the threat of Team Plasma. It's a really nice touch. They're also the adopters and masters of Keldeo, so overall, they deserve a B tier. Except for Terrakion, you're ugly, D tier. And now we've reached the Forces of Nature. I really hate these Pokemon. Their designs don't appeal to me at all. They're all so ugly. While the Therian forms are a lot better, and Landorus is good competitively, I still don't like them. Tornadus and Thundurus are roaming legendaries, which I mentioned in this video already, are terrible, but this time it's personal, cause these are the roaming legendaries I struggled with the most in my career as a Pokemon trainer. When I was 14, I struggled to catch Tornadus, which just cemented my hatred for these Pokemon. So because of that, as biased as this is, they all go directly to F tier. And I know I'm jumping ahead here, but I'm also putting an Amorous in F tier. I hate that we get another member of this group, encountering it in PLA is extremely tedious, and I don't know how they did it, but its Therian form looks worse than the Incarnate form. Reshiram and Zekrom played a fantastic role in the Black and White games, embodying the yin and yang thing perfectly. I love how both these Pokemon fit perfectly with N, and my only gripe is that they weren't handled as well in the anime. Despite this, they are outstanding legendaries, and a key part of the game's story. They definitely deserve a spot in the A tier. As for Kyurem, although not as impactful as Reshiram and Zekrom, he does get an upgrade in Black 2 and White 2 thanks to his cool fusion forms with said Pokemon. My personal favorite is White Kyurem, but Black Kyurem is also pretty sick too. He's going to the top of B tier for me. And now we've reached Generation 6, with only 3 legendary Pokemon, but their quality is impressive. Xerneas is made for a really solid first fairy type legendary. It has a great design, and its connections as the literal tree of life of the Pokemon world is pretty cool and seamless. And it also has a really good move. It's going in B tier. For Yveltal, I also like its design with it being shaped like a literal Y. It is a little too edgy for me, but it fits perfectly with the theme, so I won't hold it against it. Also, shout out to it being able to kill Ash's Pikachu. That's no easy feat. B tier. And then there's Zygarde. Now, regular old 50% Zygarde was basically irrelevant in those games, but when his other forms were revealed, he became much more interesting. His core form is cute, his Scooby-Doo 10% form is sleek, and I love dogs, so of course I love this, and his complete form is badass, especially with its role in the XY anime. Zygarde holds a special place in my heart because he always takes me back to late 2015, when we first learned about these forms and where I started my YouTube channel. You best believe I cannot wait to see this legendary finally get its time to shine in Legend ZA. And speaking of A, that's the perfect tier for this awesome legendary Pokemon. Type Null and Silvally kick it off for Gen 7, and I don't know how many times I gotta say this, but yes, they are considered legendary. These two are basically just one Pokemon, and were created as a man-made Arceus to annihilate the Ultra Beast, which is pretty sick. Ignoring its stats, the lore alone makes it a really compelling Pokemon, and his story with Gladion is surprisingly wholesome. B tier. The Taples are also a great set of legendaries. As the guardian deities of Alola, they fit perfectly with the region's lore. The anime also gives each one significant relevance on their respective islands, so they deserve the B tier. However, Tapu Koko is the standout. It has the best design of the four, and plays a large role in the games and especially in the anime, which made me like it a whole lot more, elevating it to A tier. Next, we have the Light Trio, although there's technically 5 of them. First is Cosmog, or Nebby. Its role in the games is amazing because it makes you feel truly connected to a legendary Pokemon for the first time, being a significant part of your journey thanks to Lily. Because of this, Cosmog earns an A tier spot, along with Solgaleo and Lunala. I love them all equally. However, Cosmoem is the outlier. He's literally useless. Technically, Cosmog is too, but at least he's relevant in the story. Cosmoem is barely in the plot, so there really is no point to this evolution. We could have just gone from Cosmog to Solgaleo or Lunala, and it wouldn't have made a difference. I'm dropping him in F tier. As for Necrozma, he gets a similar upgrade like Zygarde, except he actually got his games within his generation. Regular Necrozma is average, but the Ultra games made him awesome. His fusion forms with Solgaleo and Lunala are cool, and Ultra Necrozma is mind-blowing. This form is a huge improvement, and made for one of the best boss battles in Pokemon. It's definitely an S tier. Next, we have Generation 8 with Zacian and Zamazenta. While there isn't much lore around them, their designs are really cool. I love how they appear early in the story, setting up the epic climax against Eternatus, which is one of the most thrilling moments in Pokemon. Zacian is my personal favorite, because it's a wolf with a gosh dang sword in its mouth. It's awesome. And although I said competitive wouldn't influence this tier list, I cannot ignore the absolute menace Zacian is in battle, so it's going in S tier. Zamazenta, however, it's alright, I'm just not that attached to it, so it goes in B tier. Then there's Eternatus. He's weird. Dude kinda just shows up at the end of Sword and Shield with no real build-up or backstory, and kinda sticks out like a sore thumb. Or a hand, I guess. His Eternamax form is pretty sick, and made for a great boss battle, but that's about it. C tier. Now, Kubfu and Urshifu are fantastic. Even though they're another legendary with little backstory, they fit well on the Isle of Armor. Kubfu's mix of cute and cool is great, and I love how he trains with the player to evolve. Single Strike Urshifu is my favorite, but both Urshifu forms are amazing. Like Nebby, you really get to bond with this legendary, so they're definitely an S tier for me. Regieleki and Regidrago were surprise additions to Sword and Shield, and were the perfect tease for Gen 4 remakes, even though they weren't featured in BDSP. Seriously guys? That being said though, I prefer them over the original trio. Their designs are more vibrant and dynamic, and I like how they fit well with the rest of the Regis, representing different historical time periods. B tier. Glastrier and Spectrier are straight up boring on their own. They are both soulless and sauceless without Calyrex, so they're going in D tier. Calyrex, however, stands out as a former king of Galar, and can ride both Glastrier and Spectrier in battle, making it unique among legendaries. While Glastrier and Spectrier aren't very interesting alone, they enhance Calyrex's appeal. Overall, I'd rate it at B tier. We've now reached Generation 9, with the Treasures of Ruin. These legendaries aren't tied to the plot and are discovered independently, which is fantastic. I love their lore as objects that came to life due to the negative emotions of humans, and they even got a banger battle theme. Xianpao is my favorite, earning a high B. Chiyu and Wo-Chien are funny, so they both get B as well, but Ting-Lu is my least favorite. Koraidon and Miraidon are special Pokemon with a significant impact on your journey in Paldea, similar to Nebby and Kubfu. You ride these Pokemon throughout the game, watching them grow stronger until the final battle against the AI professors, where they finally join the fight. This moment is a satisfying conclusion to their story arcs. It's funny, cause initially I was heavily against Koraidon due to his tire chest design, however my time with it gave me no choice but to fall in love with this Pokemon. So surprisingly, he shoots all the way up to S tier. Miraidon, on the other hand, is still cool, but unfortunately doesn't nearly have as much personality as Koraidon, so he's a B tier. Next up is the Lousy 3. They're goofy, somewhat funny, and have a catchy battle theme, but that's it. They were mean to Ogerpon though, so C tier. I'll move Okidogi to B tier though, for having the best design among the three. Then there's Ogerpon. I love how the story makes you think that she's a menace, only to reveal that she's a precious being that must be protected, that can also literally kill you. She has a wholesome personality, and the way her mask changes her types makes her really versatile in game. I even like how this Pokemon literally makes Kieran go insane. This legendary Pokemon is used so well in the DLC story that I can't help but love her. She's definitely going in S tier. And we've now reached the final legendary Pokemon, Terapagos. Will it take the top spot on my tier list and surpass Mewtwo as my favorite legendary Pokemon? No. Terapagos has a lot going for it, with his Terastal and Stellar forms looking great, being the source of the Terastal phenomenon, and having the powers of every type. However, the games do a poor job with its lore. It can manipulate types and transport people and Pokemon between universes, but there's no clear explanation why. The anime isn't helping right now either, as it's being used as a generic cute Pokemon that gets lost all the time. I'm sure as Horizons goes on, they'll eventually expand on its lore, so it can potentially make it better, but for now, it stays in B tier. Great design and concept, but poor execution. So that means Mewtwo is in fact my favorite legendary Pokemon. Now I ain't no Gen 1er, but there's just something about Mewtwo that's made him really stand out compared to all the other legendaries for all these years. It really comes down to his portrayal in the movies and anime, that perfectly captured how unstoppable he's meant to be in the original games. Mewtwo has a commanding presence that few other Pokemon, aside from the literal god of all Pokemon, can match. As the late Dr. Fuji once said, they dreamed of creating the world's strongest Pokemon, and they succeeded. In my eyes at least. Just as long as we're not counting Zacian, of course. Or Kyurem Black and White. Or Necrozma. Or Mega Rayquaza. God, even Eternatus.